An article from Berkley University's The Greater Good Science Center says, trials and suffering can actually refine and deepen gratefulness if we allow them to show us not to take things for granted. It seems Berkeley enjoys tickling minds. So do I. The article suggests that suffering is useful for gratitude. And I know what you're thinking. Are they prescribing to me more suffering? As if it's in your control or theirs. Suffering is going to come, and you'll be glad you understood the relationship between suffering and gratitude when suffering comes knocking at your door. Remember this when at the end of this video, I tell you what riveting thing a 2,400 years old book says. We ask then, is suffering useful for gratitude, or is gratitude useful for suffering, or are both useful for each other? What do you think? Comment below afterwards. The article suggests that gratitude is useful for suffering, as suffering can make us realize more gratitude for the things we do have. But even more interesting, notice in the article what the second part says. If we allow suffering to show us not to take things for granted, this raises an interesting question or two. What causes us to take things for granted after all? Lack of suffering? Lack of suffering causing a lack of gratitude for the good things we do have? Because easy life came to us too easily? Or a lack of gratitude increases the sense of suffering? Points to ponder, aren't they? Then, do we need suffering for gratitude to wake up in us? For most people, that seems to be the case, unless they are fortunate enough to have good values engendered in them, teaching them to have gratitude without needing to suffer to learn that lesson. My hope with this channel is to engender such things and help people not have to learn some things the hard way. Perhaps, therefore, you'd like to click like and subscribe. Does suffering even guarantee gratitude? Or is looking at life with humility also needed? Aren't many people rendered bitter from suffering instead of grateful? Mindset is the key. An even more intriguing question is, should we be grateful even for suffering? Listen to what Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu wrote 2,400 years ago in the book Tao Te Ching. So it is that existence and non-existence give birth to one another, that difficulty and ease produce each other, that long and short clothing fashions come out of one and the other, and that the ideas of height and lowness arise from the contrast of one and another, that the musical notes and tones become harmonious through their relations with each other, and that being ahead and behind come from the idea of one following the other. For more episodes of our series Radical Introspect, please see the link in the description. Like this video? Then please click on like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to Wisdom Dive.